radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Well. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio. For the masses. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, man. It's Monday, October 15th, 2018. 291 days into the new year. Just 74 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planets. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? It's Monday. I'll tell you what's crazy. Just a few short hours ago, I was on Coast to Coast until 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, you get home, it's 3. You get to sleep at 4. Got to get up early. It's Monday. It's start of a new week. So, you know, if I sound a little off kilter, you know why. It's Monday. It's so good to be back in the chair. It feels like, you know, and any weekend that, you know, I'm hosting Coast in between Fade to Black, it's truly like I've never stopped. I haven't stopped. I'm still on the radio. I just haven't stopped. And here we are. It's Monday. It's great to be here. And what an amazing week we have got lined up. I say it every single Monday, but wow. And tonight we're kicking off the week with very special guest. An0maly is here. That's right. An0maly is here on Fade to Black. And we're going to discuss everything from pop culture to conspiracy, the internet, censorship. He is not only one of the leaders out there, and he hosts his own show, and he's got, you know, he reaches millions each week. It's really cool to have somebody like him on that represents, and it's going to be a really great conversation tonight. So buckle up and get ready for that, kiddies. It's going to be an amazing conversation tonight. And then tomorrow night, Leo Zagami is back live from Italy, and we're going to be talking about his new book, which I have here in the bunker. It is called The Invisible Master, The Puppeteer's Hidden Power, where he reveals long-hidden information behind the extraterrestrial phenomenon. That's right, Leo Zagami here tomorrow night from Italy. Oh, man. And then Wednesday night, another exclusive, 3 of them in a row this week here on Fade to Black, because Michael Lee Hill is here, and we will reveal the members of that secret A.R. Borden NSA group. That's right. And we are going to have some of those members, we're trying to get them all, on the show on Wednesday night. Now, how is that? Ooh, man. That's right. We put it together. This is all for you, the community. Thursday night is another Fader night. Open lines all night long. And that's our week here on Fade to Black. It's just, I can't wait. I can't wait. Last night on Coast, did Manu tear it up last night? 4 straight hours. Twitter was on fire. I had, and thank you to all of you for those Twitter questions. The phones were jammed up from the beginning to the end of the show, and I knew it was going to be like that, but it was a tremendous show last night. Manu was just amazing. And so for any of you that are here tonight for the first time on Fade to Black, because of Coast to Coast, when it happens every single week, welcome to the show. And you can follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio, just like Coast to Coast. Twitter is live in front of me. We will bust through 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 tweets tonight during the show. Come and hang out with us. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. If you have any questions during the show tonight, use hashtag F2BQ. Now, I hang out on social media. I hang out at An0maly, onstellar.com, ONSTELLAR.com. Get over there, get registered. It is the next great social media platform, onstellar.com. Of course, Twitter is at JChurchRadio. Facebook is still plugging along, and our radio page is pretty active. I posted on Facebook a couple of times over the weekend, and I hadn't, I did it for Coast to Coast, and, I've got a lot of friends and stuff over there, and it just felt strange posting over there. And I posted my birthday stuff, and you know how people are. I had to respond because everybody sent me all those birthday wishes. So I had to go back and hang out on Facebook. And it felt strange to me to do that for a few days. But anyway. And of course, there is YouTube. Everything is easy to find. Jimmy Church or Fade to Black. And there you go. Okay, any questions or comments? Use hashtag F2BQ. And you can also email throughout the show tonight, Jimmy@JimmyChurchRadio.com. Let's get to some breaking news. Today, sad day, Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft, died today in Seattle from complications of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He was just 65 years old, and everything that he was doing for our community and the search for extraterrestrial life and it's just a drag. And when I look back around 1995, I got a set of videotapes. I was watching PBS, actually. I was watching a PBS telethon that they do every year in 1995, where they aired a documentary on the internet, and I was fascinated with it. So I went to KCET, the knowledge store that they used to have out in Woodland Hills at the Topanga Mall. And I went in there and I got the documentary series. It was 3 videos. And I used to have parties at my house where I would invite 5 or 6 friends over, and we would watch all 3 documentaries on the internet, the beginning of the internet, and everything going back to not only Apple and Microsoft, and of course Paul Allen is featured, and he's a kid, right? That video was produced 23 years ago now. So figure that into this number of him passing away today at 65. But nonetheless, it was the computer industry too as well, and the formation of all of it, and where the Windows platform came from, right? DOS, the operating system, and so forth. And so I feel like I knew Paul. I mean, I really like the guy. No matter what you feel about Microsoft and Bill Gates and everything else, right now, this show, our operating system, this world that we live in, would not have been possible without Paul Allen. And he left this planet today at the age of 65. Incredible. Incredible. It just goes to show you, he left $20 billion behind. And not even $20 billion in the bank is going to save your life from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Think about that. And also, the news broke out on the internet today. Ufologist and whistleblower Robert Bob Dean passed away on October 11th at the age of 89. He was sick for a very long time, and we were never able to get him on the show. We reached out to him many times over the years, but he was just sick. And he finally passed away at the age of 89 on October 11th. And okay, so there you go. I hate to start off the show that way, but it is our community. And also, breaking news today, the Saudis are preparing a report that will acknowledge Jamal Khashoggi's death and that it was the result of an interrogation that went wrong, one that was intended to lead to his abduction and kidnapping from Turkey and taking him back to Saudi Arabia. And apparently this report is going to not only identify who was behind it, but that how the operation was carried out, and that the operation was carried out without clearance and transparency back to Saudi Arabia, and that those involved will be held responsible. Wow. Incredible. And this is about the media. This is about journalism, and there's a lot more to this besides the conspiracy of killing someone and taking his life. But this is also about freedom of speech and what it is to be a journalist today. It's a crazy story, and I don't think it's going to just disappear. And it appears to me that this is an attempt at squashing it. So we'll see. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. It is just $2 per month. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on that podcast banner. It's updated every day. We have over 930 archive shows right there, all of the apps that you need for just $2 a month. It just helps support the show. You can also become a Fade or Not. Go to our membership section on the site and become a game changer. You know, a 1-year subscription, and you're going to get the bunker cam. You're going to get an autographed hat that we don't sell. Those autographed embroidered Fade to Black hats are exclusively for game changers. I don't give them away. I don't give them to friends. We don't sell them. They are exclusively for game changers. And you can get commercial-free downloadable archives and all that fun stuff right there in the membership section of jimmychurchradio.com. Also, don't forget to visit all of our sponsors here at Fade to Black by clicking on their banners at jimmychurchradio.com. I use and endorse all of those products. They've been with us for years for good reason. Okay, there you go. Like that River Moon coffee I just sipped on the air. That breaks every broadcast rule. You don't drink on the air. You don't go, but I do. Where am I at? Let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to today. Penny Marshall is 75 years old. Penny's going to make it for 2 reasons. Obviously, Laverne, but also the movie Big. She directed that. I love Big. That was a good movie. Tito Jackson, the Jackson 5's guitar player, is 65 years old. Tito played some wacky guitars over the years, too, didn't he? Man, sequins. Just, but back in the day, do you remember back in the day, he played like a white Fender Strat. So there you go. Tito Jackson today, he played one of those right there, right there. Tito Jackson is 65. I wonder if he still plays. Sure he does. On this day in history, OTD, it went down. Mata Hari, the archetype of the seductive female spy, is executed for espionage by a French firing squad at Vincennes outside of Paris. That's right. She was a double agent. She played both sides and got caught. Mata Hari. executed in 1917 on this day. Fader fact. Here you go. This is vetted. This is a Fader fact. Both John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died on July 4th, 1826. Same day, July 4th, exactly 50 years after the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Ain't that a trip? That's a Fader fact right there. Now, tonight, An0maly is here. Very special guest. It's going to be an amazing conversation. And so get ready for that. Tomorrow night, Leo Zagami is here to talk about his new book, The Invisible Master. Wednesday night, Michael Lee Hill exclusively on Fade to Black will reveal the members of that secret A.R. Borden NSA group. Thursday night's another Fader night, open lines all night long. Now, I wanted to mention, I want everybody's reaction to this, and I just thought of it because Justin just posted this picture of an octopus, right? Have you guys seen Solo, right? The latest Star Wars film, right? Solo, have you seen it? I gotta say, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's good. I don't care what any Star Wars fanatic is going to complain about that, and they did. That's a good movie. Yep. And there's a really good octopus scene in the flick with a black hole. Yep. And light speed. Anyway, Solo. Yeah, really good flick. All right, now, Today, my friends, is one of those days that I just want you to listen. I want you to free your mind for a few minutes. Just go with it. Life on Earth is amazing. You just can't seem to stop it. It's everywhere. An asteroid hits Earth, wipes out everything. No problem. We'll be back. Forest fire burns down a couple of states. It'll grow back. Give it a few months. It's all good. For some reason, everything is perfect here on Earth for life. It just happens. And this is the really trippy part. And I love saying trippy. I love using the word trippy. There'll be posts, church is smoking weed. Church is tripping. He's high. He's on drugs. No. Trippy is a very good word. And I'm going to use it a few times. Because this is the really trippy part. It all happens from tiny little atoms. Tiny little atoms that don't have a brain. They don't have blood. They don't have life. Nope. All of those incy, beansy things just know what to do. How is that? Now I sound like I'm smoking weed, right? Remember that? Man, imagine if the universe was in one of the cells in your thumbnail, man, and well, it's kind of like that. With all of our science today, we don't know. I don't know. Why is that? Atoms aren't alive. In fact, I don't know, and nobody does. With all of the science today, you would think that we had figured that part out by now, but we haven't. So, look at it this way. Let's back up a few billion years, or 13. Let's go back to the beginning. And Rita's listening to me right now, and she's going, I know where Jimmy's going with this, because this was the conversation, that we had last night after Coast to Coast at 4 o'clock in the morning. This is what we do. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the Big Bang. The Big Bang was perfect. It was seriously bleeping perfect. In that very first nanosecond of the bang, the very, very click, if something was just slightly off, just a little bit, gravity, electromagnetics, expansion, if the energy was just a tiny bit different, it wouldn't have happened. Think about this for a second. That's where you need to go with me. It would have been a tiny bang that lasted for a second or two and then reversed and disappeared. A little pop. It wouldn't have been the big bang, wow, universe, millions of miles across in a second. No. It would have been a little boop. If it wasn't perfect, it would have been just a little. That's it. It would have been a boop and gone. It would have and then look at it. Let's go in a different direction. And that's if it's just a little bit off, right? It would have tried to have banged, but the gravity and the energy and the atom and everything, it just isn't right. So it doesn't do anything. It would have been a boop, right? But what if it was a little kind of a bang? More like a poof. And the universe expanded, but all of the atoms were just off by a bit. Like the gravity inside of the atom was just a tad different. So that they didn't form anything. Right? Because in our Big Bang, it was perfect instantly because the atoms were just like magic. They did things. But what if the gravity was just off and the atoms were not happy atoms? Right? And they just created dust or dirt, nothing. And that it's possible because, in fact, there may be right now a dust bowl universe out there. Maybe billions of them. Just a dead universe. A universe where the atoms aren't happy. And they're not forming things. And they're not creating things. Right? They're just off a little bit. But our Big Bang was perfect. So much so, it's just a bunch of happy atoms. It's like those happy atoms like to do things. They like to make stars. They like to make planets and galaxies and gases and elements. It's friggin' magic all day long. Our atoms in our universe like to do stuff. They do. They're happy atoms. And here on Earth, we have life. And we can't stop it. We are made up of things that don't have life, but they know what to do. It's amazing. Since the start of this world, some 4.5 billion years ago, there have been billions and billions of things that just, came to life. It's like magic dust all over this planet. So much of it that nearly 100% of everything that ever was is gone. and this planet just seems to create more new. We can't stop life here. You can't stop it. And if you think about it like this, and I'm not kidding about this. It's so magical that you can burn down a field, burn it down, and it's just carbon. It's black. A couple days later, green. Stuff is growing out of it. Flowers, beautiful. Insects are back and things. It's just crazy. You cannot stop the life here. Think about it. But how is it possible? Those pesky little atoms just know what to do. They know how to get together and create some DNA and some amino acids and boom, let's do some worms, let's do some butterflies and some fish and some humans, birds. It's crazy. Air, oxygen, water. It's nuts. But how is it possible? Why? Check this out. If you hold up your left hand, I want you to hold up your left hand right now as you're listening to me. Do it. Hold up your left hand and look at it. Now, hold up your right hand and take a look. Right, left, right? You are now looking at atoms that come from two different stars. Star number 1, star number 2. That's right. Trip on that. In Bill Bryan's book, and I think it's called like The History of Everything or something, he says something like, if you pick, and Rita and I were talking about this last night, debating this, but if you picked all the atoms off of you with a pair of tweezers, right? And you put all those atoms one by one into a pile, you would have nothing. No life. The atoms are there, but there's no life in that pile. You're not in that pile, right? You're not there. It's not you. And now those atoms that you've picked apart and have put in this pile are free to go and build something else, like rocks. Whoa. Trip on that, right? And if the Big Bang was just a little bit off, just a tad, you wouldn't be able to trip on my words right now. And that's trippy. And you also wouldn't be able to pick those atoms off of your body. It's a crazy thought. How do atoms know what to do? Why are some elements, why are some gold or diamonds or carbon or water or air or bones or rocks, grass, butterflies? I don't know. How are atoms creating us, ultimately forming DNA, our brains, where we can have consciousness, where we can laugh and create? If the Big Bang was just a tad off, just a tad, think about that. Seriously. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, An0maly is here. It's going to be a great conversation. Get ready for that. I'll be right back after this short break. Tomorrow night, Leo Zagami. Wednesday night, Michael Lee Hill and the A.R. Borden NSA group exclusively right here on Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. You can also follow me on Twitter @jchurchradio. And I'll be right back with our guest, An0maly. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe.
Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Times are changing. The circus of politics, healthcare's low standards and high prices, and let's not forget food quality. What to do? Arm yourself with Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. In a world of chemical imbalance and poor air and water quality, it's time you make a move. Log on to getthetea.com and stock up on organic non-GMO supplements. Don't forget the tea. Cleansing your body never felt so good. And we have a brand new tea called Takedown Tea, which helps support healthy glucose. All natural body support so you can be at your best, naturally. All you have to do is log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. We're not a fad that comes and goes. We are the real deal. Join us and armor up. Getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Changing America's health one tea bag at a time.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to faststartdiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to faststartdiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from An0maly, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It is Monday. Tonight, very special guest, An0maly is here. Tomorrow night, Leo Zagami and his new book, The Invisible Master. Wednesday night, exclusive here, Michael Lee Hill. That's right, the A.R. Borden NSA group will be revealed right here on Wednesday night. Great week here. Of course, Thursday night's another Fader night. Open lines all night long. Taking your phone calls. Tonight, it is An0maly. He's a groundbreaking news analyst, hip-hop artist, video producer, and creative visionary. New Jersey raised, West Virginia affiliated, California living, combining elements of spirituality, philosophy, and real life. An0maly has become a leading voice of this generation as well as a legendary rapper and poet. An0maly reaches between 7 and 30 million people weekly from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And tonight we're going to discuss everything from pop culture to conspiracy. We're going to get it all in I am really looking forward to this. His website is Legendary Vision. The links are right there at jimmychurchradio.com. And I'd like to welcome for the first time to Fade to Black, An0maly. An0maly, what's up? How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
No, I'm blessed, and I'm great, and thank you for having me. So there you go, right?
We all are. We're all blessed. That's a good attitude.
Absolutely. And before we get started, An0maly, you probably know you're going to get the first-time guest disclaimer, which goes like this. It's just you and I sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends, and where that conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends, but we're going to end as friends. There you go. You ready?
Absolutely. I love that.
Now, I've got to know. I'm going to ask you this first. This is like host to host, right? Let's do that for a second. You have an impact to millions of people. Do you feel that impact? Do you choose your words carefully?
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel the impact. I try to choose everything like very sensitive to what I post, even picture posts. So I do my best for sure on that. And I feel it for sure. Today,
we have, the technology today, An0maly, you grasp it, you get it, your generation understands it, smartphones and tablets and Instagram and how you can reach and touch the emotions of so many in just a nanosecond, right? You can just alter things. You can change people. And you understand that. But so does everybody else. So does the man, right? They know how to alter emotions and affect people. How do you feel about that and the use of the internet to divide and conquer?
On that note, I know a study came out last year, 2 years ago, about Facebook. They did a test without anyone knowing, manipulating people's emotions. And of course, people know now they're using artificial intelligence, machine learning, algorithms and such. So, I mean, it's a lot of power for everyone to have. And overall, though, I think it's pretty good. And, the censorship is obviously not great, but I'm optimistic. So I'm like, with all this technology and all this power, it could be a lot worse. And I think it's up to all the good people on the planet to make sure that it doesn't go there, because it hasn't yet, but it's creeping.
And you speak out about this a lot, and so do I. Do you think that, people are listening?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are listening. I think a lot of people are evolving. But also, I think there's only so much that even me or you or millions of people can do, because when it comes to these tech companies and even politicians, world leaders, and people who are really running the show with this tech, even if you know what's going on, it's hard to say how to really counter it in the long term. So.
And what do you make of? It's one thing to have your audience and my audience, and I feel that they get it. I really do. I think they understand it, and we've been speaking about it for so long now. But then you have the other, literally 99.9% of the planet that's not listening to you or I, and they're oblivious to it. And I don't even know if they care that they are manipulated or if what they are reading is true or not.
Totally. I mean, I don't know how high the percentage is, but that's why my overarching message is always change yourself to change the world, because everybody wants to attack the top. But, the reason they do stuff is because they get away with it. A lot of people are brainwashed by television, media, even music in some elements, the internet, what's being highlighted and headlined, and the majority of people don't care. So it's up to us to change it from the bottom up, because if people keep buying it, they'll keep selling it.
When do you think the change started to happen? You're a generation behind me. And by the way, I'm just going to let the audience know that An0maly and I met earlier this year at the NAMM show. And when I walk around like the NAMM show, An0maly, I'm the old guy in the room, right? I understand that. You're a generation behind me, but you're still old enough to see the changes that have occurred on the internet. The internet used to be a very fun place. It's not that way anymore. When did you start to see the changes in people's emotions and the fighting and trolling and these crazy posts. When did you start to see it happen?
I mean, I think people were always maybe trolling. And I think when it first started, people were a lot more vulgar because it was this place that you were anonymous. But it seems like Facebook, Twitter, and Google have kind of swallowed it up and, you know, made the censorship bigger, the PC culture and the anti-cursing bigger, which maybe for family and kids, that's okay. But they've slowly, I feel like, continued to censor and rig their algorithms to favor the news that they want to favor. It's gotten more and more rigged, more and more controlled. And now the social media companies, they have like news built into it. So it's not just that they're allowing free thought. They're kicking certain people off their platforms while kind of leading everybody to the headlines they want to lead them to. So I feel like it's gotten definitely closed up a bit. But like I said, I mean, it could be worse. So we're at a crossroads, I think.
Why do you think it is when we look at somebody like Alex Jones, who I've followed since he had first started? You know, I can go back to first time I heard Alex Jones's name was probably around 2008. And so that's 10 years ago. And so you have an example of like Alex Jones, and where they've obviously made an example of him. But they don't seem to be having any discretion here. It's the right, it's the left. You can even be in the middle. They don't want. It seems like they don't want anybody to voice an opinion on whatever the subject is, and that they want to control what the message is.
You nailed it. And it's funny that Alex Jones, he always says, I'm the tip of the spear. I'm the tip of the spear. That's one of his famous slogans, saying, like, if they censor me, they're coming for you. And sure enough, it happened. And sure enough, he was right. He was, you know, perhaps the tip. And now they go down left, right. You have Free Thought Project. You have less left-leaning, quote unquote, conspiracy sites going down, right-wing sites, left-leaning anti-war people. And this is the game. I think they can't really get done what they want to do. I don't think they're having a lot of success on a global political scale. So instead of like learning and adapting and trying to reach out to people in a bunch of communities that they've lost, they're trying to like further rig their sites and kick people off. It's a horrible strategy. It's not working. And it's almost like a temper tantrum of like these elites where I wish they would dial it back and, you know, connect with your community and even right and left and figure out what they're missing, because they're totally not doing that. It's like they just want to run everyone over.
There used to be, this was the culture of Silicon Valley, and this is not a joke. And going back to like when Bill Gates was a kid, right? If you go back to the culture of 1995 Silicon Valley, it was rebels. Those were renegade nerds that didn't care about the man, that wanted to have freedom of expression and have a free internet and voices and you know, this rainbow coalition of thought and creativity. That's what it was all built on, and they've absolutely lost control of their moral compass. And it's because they're not rebels anymore. They're all rich. Everybody, right? I'm serious amounts of cash, where they are completely disconnected from exactly what got them there in the first place. And I don't know how we're going to get it back. Do you?
You're right, man. I mean, even Google, you know, they started with a "Don't be evil" slogan, and then they've slowly just kind of gotten like this tech corporation out of control, spiraling out of control. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be. We got to see how far they go, because even this last week they deleted, I think, 800 Facebook pages. It's scary because, like, you know, once they take away Alex and then, you know, maybe Free Thought Project and others, I feel like we're only a few knocks down the peg. So we could always migrate to other social medias, but I feel like no one wants to do it. We've built up such a big platform on some of them that it's a tricky situation. And I don't know that I agree with government getting involved either. So it's like a very sticky situation.
Now, how about you? Because, for instance, on your Facebook page, if the numbers are wrong, you can correct me. It doesn't matter. We can just use round numbers. But you've got over 500,000 followers just on your Facebook page. That's a lot of influence. Have they come after you? Have you had any threats? Have you felt anything on the censorship side?
Yeah, I want to start off on a positive note. I want to say I've been very blessed, and I'm getting like 3 to 8 million views a week sometimes. Like that's an incredible number, and Facebook's been very kind to me on that note. But I had a 24-hour ban because I posted this racist tweet from a New York Times editor, and I was just pointing out how they took Roseanne's show away. But then this woman they gave a promotion to, and they banned me. And then they started tracking my location. They said, An0maly, what's your real name? What's all this stuff? And I gave it to them. I have it on my Facebook page. And they're like, we have to track you permanently. And I got like 3-4 pop-ups. They're already tracking me. And they're just like, we need to track you 24/7. I was like, that's fine if that's what you got to do. And then I did a video on South Africa, and they took it down, but then reinstated it. So those are very minor. Besides the tracking location, I think that's pretty creepy. But overall, in this day and age, they've been very, very kind to me. And I think it's because I try to lead with truth. I try not to say anything I don't know. If I don't know it, I let that be known. Like I don't push any quote unquote conspiracy theories, without questioning and making sure. And I'm as nice as possible. So, those are minor, but overall, they haven't really messed with my reach, and I'm pretty good at social media. So they've let me for now kind of thrive.
You would think that with somebody, some of these pages that they pull down, 2 million, 2.9, 2.5, 2 million followers and subscribers, that's also money and revenue back to Facebook. And you would think that would have some kind of influence on their decisions, but it didn't. And a lot of people lost their jobs. I was looking at some of the numbers, and when you're looking at media organizations of that size, certainly they have a staff. And if you turn around and start shutting this down, you may be making a political stance, some kind of moral standard that they seem to be projecting, but you're also affecting people's lives at the same time. And there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or a reason, because they don't state why these pages, 800, were removed.
Yeah, I mean, they're very, very desperate to control the narrative, and they've kind of merged with mainstream media. They've given like multi-million-dollar contracts to mainstream media and, partners with political operative groups to fight fake news. So they've taken that side. They're desperate for the narrative. They're very, very desperate to win these elections. They have a certain agenda and they want to win, and they're not connecting. So instead of, like I said, connecting, they think they want to kick people off. But they also kicked off people that are maybe leaning their political way. Like I know Free Thought Project, they question all sides, and they didn't even give them a reason. That's the really scary part. They didn't say this is why you could change it. They just gave them a very broad reason, ruined people's jobs and lives, and kicked them off Twitter within 48 hours. I think An0maly they did as well. I'm not as familiar with that, but they're very, very desperate, and they're just like in such an echo chamber, and it's just creepy, combined with political correctness, what they think is right, and they've become the monster that they think they're fighting. It's a very weird paradox.
We didn't think, the warnings were all there for many, many years before the internet came along, that we would be at this point someday with technology. And here we are witnessing not only the ability of fake news to propagate, and the man controlling the narrative, news media taking sides, and there isn't a media outlet out there right now, right, left, or center, that is telling the truth about anything. And we were warned about this, and here we are. We knew that this day would come, and it doesn't seem like anybody wants to do anything about it. Nobody wants to call out the media, and I'm not talking about the president or anything else. I'm talking about society in general standing up going, what are you guys doing to us? Nobody wants to put up a fight. It seems like we just want to be a part of the status quo. And when I say we, I'm talking about, the United States and countries where they just want to move along and not rock the boat. Why do you think that we've become so complacent?
I guess it goes back to really courage and who's able to see through that, matrix, so to say, and really do something about it. I guess historically, not everyone's on that level. But I think one person that really did a good job recently was Elon Musk.
I wanted to talk about it. You know what? I want to jump in. I was actually wanting to get to that next.
No,
we're going to do it right now. Your point that you made about Elon Musk and Google searches is something that everybody needs to see and understand exactly what we're talking about here. And your video, how many views did you get on the video?
That just hit 1 million like yesterday. So it's
a million views. See, and that's not enough. As great as that is, everybody needs to see the point that you are making here. So Elon Musk, we all know he went on Joe Rogan and toked it up, right? And it was pretty funny to see. But that wasn't your point. Your point was that Joe Rogan's original video got 3.5 million views, and you would assume that that would be the top Google search for that video. And it wasn't. What did you find out?
It was like 16 or 17 down, and the ones in front of it are very, very unpopular. But YouTube actually did something in the algorithm within the last year or two, and they keep rigging it further. It's called the top news section. So if you ever search on YouTube and you see top news, basically what that means is they're prioritizing the mainstream left-wing and right-wing media over the independent content creator who has more views and more likes. So, I went left and right. Both wings of the mainstream bird were putting him in a light like, oh, he's stupid, he's smoking, he's so dumb. But the real video, the full video, he's talking about artificial intelligence. And of course, Elon Musk owns a company called Neuralink to plant computer chips in human brains. So this is no joke. This is no dumb guy here. So the fact that it takes you maybe page 2 and 16 scroll downs just to find the original content, and you have to look at 15 other videos that are trying to lead you in the wrong direction is very frightening. But it's the top news section, and they claim to be fighting fake news, but they'll do it on a lot of searches and make sure that the top 10, 15 videos you see are all mainstream media and sanctioned by, what they think is true, which, like you said, is very rarely the best perspective. I would even argue that it's almost never the best perspective, besides maybe a few journalists on television that are doing good work.
What was shocking to me, and you pointed this out, that there were videos way ahead of the 3.5 million Rogan clip that had 1,500 views or 3,000 views, but yet they were ranked higher than Rogan. And the second point that you made, one of the videos that was of the Rogan clip of Elon smoking had like, I'm just going to pull the numbers out. I don't know what they were, but it was like it had 50 likes and 1,200 dislikes.
Yeah, that was the New York Post. So that was, right. a Murdoch. But it was like it was all the left-wing organizations making him look bad, and then you had that one, the right-wing. Yeah, 1,200 dislikes, 50 likes, maybe 7,000 views, and it's above the original video because they want you to see their spin on it. But it's like Elon Musk is like a modern-day Tesla almost. Like I'm not trying to see what some low-level journalist has to say about him. I want the real deal. Like I don't want them to gossip about you. I want to have a conversation with you.
And what's the intention? And I see the algorithm. You can see how it plays out in your video. It's incredible. I really enjoyed that. I got pretty pissed off, watching it. But what's the intention with that? Because is it money? Because CNN was ranked #1. And it's like, what did CNN have to do with that clip at all? Obviously, Rogan should have been the #1 search result there. But CNN and MSNBC and NBC were like 1, 2, and 3 in the search results. What's going on there?
I think it's power, control, and collaboration. These big media companies, they've chosen their sides and they've chosen their organizations that they've aligned with. And when everyone started getting demonetized on YouTube and they took down a few prominent channels, YouTube and Google actually gave multiple millions of dollars to CNN, Fox News, NBC, Washington Post, New York Times. They did a "we're fighting fake news." So they're actually taking money away from the independent content creator. They're actually giving millions upon tens of millions of dollars to CNN and the other big news corporations on top of all the money that they already make just for no reason to fight fake news. And then they're using AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and algorithm riggings to put them at the top. So it's like a triple rig. You're getting deleted, you're getting your money taken away, they're getting extra money, and they're getting priority searches. And they're not paying for it. They're actually getting paid to be there. So people are like, oh, they pay to be there. No, they get paid to be there. It's really crazy.
It's a catch-22, and it's a self-feeding machine, too. That's the other crazy thing about all of this. It's a circle, and they get millions and millions of people to jump on that treadmill that takes them in this advertising circle. That's one side of it is paying, the other side of it is paying, and then you get in this circle of clicks that you can't get out of. It is an unbelievably profitable machine that is running.
Absolutely. And they're also, like they did to Alex and a few other content creators, they have shut down even organizations that are not pushing the agenda that they want to. They've actually pressured even Patreon, which was created to get around the censorship and the demonetization. And they're pressuring places like Visa and MasterCard to not accept certain things, and PayPal. So it's like they're not only rigging everything and taking the money away, but they're pressuring the biggest financial organizations to not accept the money for like complete destruction of whatever that company is.
Yeah. Do you have any? We've got about a minute to the break. Do you have any updates on what happened with Alex and PayPal? What did he end up doing to take care of that too as well?
I think he's always been in lawsuits, even before they kicked him off, because he says stuff and people come at him. So he said he was going to go at them. I don't know the update, but I know that it's basically been anointed that no one wants to support Alex Jones. So PayPal pulled out, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, he got kicked off basically everywhere. He was the first one to just get ruined off everything. And then they came for PayPal after to try to really close up his finances.
Yeah, I don't know with anybody that's a content creator like Alex, you can always go back to your own website and put everything on there. But that's not what this is about. What it is that everything happened all at the same time. And that's where it feels a little bit funny to me when you have, Apple and Twitter. Twitter held out for a little bit, but the way that Google and YouTube and Facebook, everything happened, Apple and Spotify all happened at the same time. And you have to ask yourself if those phone calls, if they weren't all on some Skype meeting and said, we're going to pull the trigger all at the same time on Jones. And love him or hate him, it's not the point. The point is it's censorship. And I don't know how else to deal with it. An0maly, stay right there. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Going to take a quick break and continue this conversation when we come back. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing An0maly, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All An0maly products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the An0maly pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the An0maly banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously. Go Beckley Tappy. Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by paranormal talk radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, An0maly. Tomorrow night, Leo Zagami is here. Wednesday night, Michael Lee Hill. That's right, the NSA group, A.R. Borden. It's going to be disclosed exclusively right here Wednesday night. Yeah, how do you like that, An0maly? We're going to be breaking down the NSA on Wednesday night's show. And
good luck.
Yeah, I can't wait for things to start to go haywire. Technically, it's really funny. Anytime I mention anything like that on the air, suddenly you start to hear crackles and pops, and something goes down. It's pretty funny. The internet router will go funky. It happens every time. I'm just used to it. You got to go with the flow. Now, you are a news analyst, and one of the things that I really enjoy about the way that you do things is you break it down for everybody. But I have to go one step behind that with you. How do you get your news?
There's a good Dick Gregory quote. I don't know if you know Dick Gregory, activist and, pretty smart guy. But he said, I buy all the newspapers and then I look for the cracks in them. So, roughly that was the quote. So I kind of read everything from the top news organizations to independent. And I just operate off of that. And a lot of the news stories I do is, of course, I listen to independent and everything, but I try to kind of expose them without seeming like a conspiracy theorist. So I usually use their own articles and elements of how they've reported in the past and are reporting now. But I'm looking at everything. I'm on Twitter. I listen to, like conspiracy to mainstream left and right or independent left and right. I try to get a good taste of everything.
Well, okay. So now you've got one story from 2 or 3 different sites. And you and I both know the drill. 3 different opinions, 3 different sets of facts Now what do you do? Do you connect the dots? How do you pull the truth out of three different things?
I guess I connect the dots and slip through the cracks. Like, for instance, a lot of the reporting they've been doing nowadays is anonymous reporting, where they'll admit in their own article, that it's probably not true, or possibly one person told one person and said that. So, a lot of people just read the headline and they know that, psychologically, maybe 90% of people only see the headline. So a lot of the biggest news stories of this year, and a lot of the biggest outrage culture stories that people have been freaking out about, they're actually in many parts not even true. And they actually tell you in the article. It's just they know that most people aren't going to dig 6, 7, 8 paragraphs down to get the couple lines that say, this is possibly from an anonymous source or someone who knows someone in the meeting. It's a lot of stuff like that I kind of dig through.
Do you find it difficult, as I do? Do you find it difficult to go to like CNN and see one side slanted, right? One obvious agenda going on. And then you go to, I'll just say it, you can go to Fox, and then that's a slanted, one-sided view that is going on, where it's an obvious situation here where they've made this not only political, certainly, but also personal, where the news now is opinions instead of facts. And that's what I find so disheartening here, is that we've gone away from reporting the news to stating opinion and trying to affect the populace that way.
Yeah, a lot of the biggest credible news organizations have kind of fallen to the, I guess, pedigree of TMZ and National Enquirer with their reporting. So what I do a lot of, and if I don't know for sure, I say that and I source and I cite, but a lot of what I'm doing is kind of trying to expose people to think differently and realize how they are being manipulated and how they can better, figure that out and what to look for and how not to get fooled. So a lot of my reports are basically just debunking what they're doing, but I'm not necessarily telling you the exact answer or anything. I'm just, it's every single day I feel like they do that. And like I said, the biggest outrages of the year were total skews that, even maybe both sides of the debate would like to get to the core of it. It's maybe designed so you never get to the root of the problem and you continuously argue about surface level stuff that really doesn't matter.
Why do you think that social media, and it doesn't matter about the platform, that in social media now you have individuals that would never say the things in public or with their friends or family like they do on Facebook? Certain trigger words are there, and the next thing you know, you've got people that were friends for years that are at each other's throats. It's like an instantaneous thing now on social media. Why is it that nobody can control their anger or their verbiage?
I mean, I think you nailed it. People feel more comfortable because it used to be anonymous, but even now, though we're not anonymous, it's easier to type something. So I'll give you an example. I have really good friends that I see once or twice a year that don't agree with everything that I agree with politically, but that's okay. We love each other. I know they're great people, and I want to talk in person. And I always tell them, let's not argue on Facebook Messenger. Let's wait till we talk in person, because when we talk in person, we usually agree on most stuff, or we just agree to disagree and we get to the core of it. But they were always kind of freaking out at me on Messenger. I think a lot of times I'm always making content, so I don't really have time to yell at anybody. I haven't done that in years. But when you're on there and maybe they see my video and they don't agree with it, instead of being like, we could see An0maly in person and have a conversation, they're first, like, it really bothers them. And that, like you said, they can't control their anger and they freak out. Everyone does it, but I think we have to do a better job of that and understand that, not take this so seriously. And I made a new podcast recently called Make America Debate Again. And I'm trying to get through to that. People who freak out online at me, now I just tell them, come and debate. And 9 times out of 10, if they're, face to face, even if it's Skype or Zoom, they're not going to act the way we act when we type, but people will still do it.
Yeah, I've actually put that challenge out there a couple of times. You know what? Don't do it here. Come and meet me. let's go face to face, because I don't think that you're going to want to be able, or you're not going to want to do that. I don't. Okay, it's like this. About 3 years ago, I started to notice that when I would sit down with friends, and we like to have dinner parties and stuff. I would sit down with friends, and I noticed that if the conversation went in one direction, very simply, very easily, suddenly people were angry. And I couldn't believe it. And then I realized that they were being influenced by the fake news. And I'm talking about 2015, 2016, as this stuff started to get out of control, where that was controlling this conversation. And that's what was causing this anger. It was because of their travels on the internet during the day. And now it's influencing the conversation here, and everybody was just trigger happy, right? Ready to go. It was go time.
The media does a bad job of never, and it goes on both sides. They get everyone riled up, get everyone angry at the other side, and then they'll sell them pills in the commercial and unhealthy foods. It's a really bad, strategy they have there. But over the weekend, I had a conversation with somebody on a social issue that we didn't agree with, and it's fine. I'm very easy to talk to. He was spewing out like mainstream media point to mainstream media point to mainstream media point. And then I kind of got to a point where I said something, and he said, you know what? I don't like to debate or have conversations because this is my side, and I'm going to stick to it regardless of what's going on, and I'm going to fight for this side. So he had kind of come to the conclusion, like, I'm stubborn. I don't want to learn. I listen to, the media, and this is how I feel. And I was like, man, and it's a good, smart person where I'm like, that's sad. I'm personally glad I don't own a television. I've always known since like 2008, I knew that they were brainwashing people via the television. So I'm lucky, I guess, that I avoided like 10 years of brainwashing.
The fake news revolution, when it happened, and everybody found out that what they were reading probably was fake and was probably generated by a 15-year-old kid in Macedonia, right? Seriously. And absolute fabrication. But they took it hook, line, and sinker. And even when they found out that the reason why they were angry was because of something that was written by a 16-year-old kid in some European country for clicks, that didn't change their beliefs. They still went on with the fake news narrative. It's really crazy. It's not like everybody just step back and go, whew, oh, it was just fake news. Okay, I can get back to center. It didn't happen that way. Everybody is still carrying those beliefs. It's amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely. I always say I think stubbornness is one of the biggest plagues to humanity because left or right, I think it bounces back and forth with who might seem virtuous and right at the time. But everyone's so easy to manipulate because they think they're playing a sports game. And I say all the time, because people listen to me on both sides, and people who agree with me, they're like, An0maly, I agree with you, but those people, well, they'll never listen. They'll never learn. And I'm like, well, first of all, that's a pessimistic attitude. But second of all, it's not true, because I have conversations with people I don't agree with. And if you talk nicely to them, and a lot of them will come around or find some similar ground. So they've done a brilliant job of creating two sports teams, red and blue, and people think they're in a civil war right now. And of course, it's a soft civil war because we're all spoiled and have computers, so we're not really doing that much. But overall, it's like, I don't know, man. I've never thought of it like that. But there's millions of people who have pledged allegiance to their side, and they're not trying to make friends. They're not trying to, make countrymen agree with them. They're literally just trying to fight. And I don't know how to change that besides maybe I try to through my content via being kind and compassionate to both sides and getting them to hopefully consider things that they don't normally.
What's the end game? And the idea is this: when I ask the question, what is the end game? You have the media companies obviously dividing the population. They've been very effective at that. So now we've got a divided, fighting country right now. But if it continues, the next step is a bad one. So what is the end game? Are they going to, right before we're at the brink of burning this place down, are they going to stop? Are they going to back up? What's the end game? Why would they want to push us all to the edge of the cliff and force us to take a peek?
I have a personal theory, and as much as I do think that people at the high levels are manipulating, and there are some bad hombres and bad spots, I really think it's like human nature. I'll give you an example. I play basketball, and if I'm playing basketball, outside of the court, there's no referees. We're supposed to self-manage ourselves. There's no politics. There's no really social aspects. People still cheat. They fight. They argue. There's something about humans that, we just don't get along as easily as we should. We don't have enough compassion. We don't have enough understanding and consideration for each other. I don't know if it was the way people were raised, or maybe they're hurt and lost and confused and angry. But I think that it's not just the elites and the media companies. I think it's inherently, human nature, and we got to change it from the bottom up. But with technology, algorithms, and even computers and human brains merging, stuff like that, I think the end game, a lot of these tech companies, I think they know that it's going to get to a pretty wild cyborg level. Maybe they won't tell people that, but I don't know what their strategy is for it. But God help us all.
I know. And see, this is what I find really strange, and especially here in the United States, more so than any place else, in that this country was built on an immigration policy where this is a country of immigrants, where, whether you're Polish or German or French or Scottish or Irish or Italian, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, everybody here understood that that's what made this country great, right? That we're all different, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what made us actually got us here to begin with. And it wasn't about being decisive and pointing fingers and blame and fighting. It was about getting along and the best of everything together made us so great. And we've lost sight of that completely. It's nobody even wants to even talk about that anymore.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up. And, celebrity culture, television, politics, people want to win so bad. And I talk to people on both sides, and they literally want to just crush the other side. And I'm like, man, I want to teach the other side. I want them to learn so they're not so crazy. I'm not trying to crush them, but you got millions of people who they dehumanize the other side. And I don't know what it's going to take, but I've seen it get to a point now. I'm hoping that it's the storm before the calm, where at a certain point, maybe there's some big worldly event that everyone stands back and they're like, whoa, what were we doing these past 3 years? And I'm at that point now because, politics aside, I think this is one of the greatest times ever to be alive. My great-grandparents came and worked in factories. I have cell phones. I'm talking to you right now via computer. Even on my worst day, it's not that bad compared to working in the field and stuff. So it's like, man, I don't know why people are so ungrateful, so hateful, but I think it definitely starts with good leaders, good media sources, and good, everything, musicians that people look up to. There's not enough, but if we can, make that cool, then I think that's an important thing. And I think people like Joe Rogan are doing it, and, other people just have to step up.
I want to talk about your video about political correctness and PC, which first off, it's a great video. But the second point that I want to make here is this audience has heard me talk about this subject for a very long time. And I don't know how we got here today, but this PC situation is completely off the rails. We drove that truck off the road, man.
Yeah, I know. I read a headline about Manchester in England that they banned clapping because clapping made some of the people feel bad who weren't being clapped. And I was like, oh, my goodness. George Carlin is crying right now from the afterlife because, his famous quote was, political correctness is fascism with manners. And I think the tech companies and the elites, they are using political correctness culture to push forward a devious agenda. But it's like, man, we're so soft. I mean, and I'm a really nice guy. I'm not like a mean, yell at your face. I'm super compassionate, super nice, super considerate, but I'm not this soft, man. It's like at a certain point, I don't know how we got this soft. I don't know if we could possibly get softer. And it's not good, because it's nice to be nice to the weak in society. That's necessary, but you don't want to make everyone weak and like revel in weakness. That's like the opposite of any sort of, winning mindset ever. So I don't know how we got here, and I don't even know if it's possible to go further. Like, I don't know where you go from here.
I know. When I was growing up, and I hate it when somebody old like me says that, but when I was a kid, and it's really true, there were losers. Some people just lost. Right? Some people came in second place, and now it's like everybody gets a trophy, right? Everybody's a winner. Nobody can get offended. Nobody can be sad. Nobody can be challenged. And it's that way across the board in every aspect of our lives today. And you're right. I don't know how we got here, but it's a sad part of life. Not everybody can be a winner.
Yeah, I think, Jordan Peterson, the one thing that he's really gotten through, and I notice, of course, a lot of like conservatives like him, but a lot of my liberal friends like him as well. And I'm glad to see that, because he really has a compelling argument about, opportunity or outcome of opportunity. If you try to make everything equal, like 50% men, 50% women, 50% this, 50% that, it doesn't work. Everything kind of collapses. And it's like the over political correctness of society. It's like a super then you don't have freedom. It's like you're forcing people. So we've gotten to the point where we're trying to be so nice that we're actually being mean, and we're ruining freedom, and we're ruining people's lives. So I think that's a good argument that's got through to people, and we need to push that more, where it's like, when things are free and when people are free to do as they wish, some people are going to do certain things, some people aren't, some people are going to win, some people are going to lose. And to be honest, if you're ambitious in the society, even if you start with nothing, you can make something of yourself. So you can't, take everything from the winners and try to give it to the losers and stop clapping because it hurts their feelings. It's like, at a certain point, come on.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how we got so soft. And there was another... it's not. This is what I find so fascinating about this. It's not any one thing. It's seriously. I used to think that there were two genders, right? Now there's 150. I can't identify them all anymore. Now, and I'm not trying to be Archie Bunker here. But that what I just said, as sensitive of an issue that is one tiny sliver of society, and you can go and point at any type of demographic, any group, any person, anything for any reason. It doesn't matter. But now everybody wants an equal footing and an equal platform and equal this, and everybody. It has gotten to the point where I just think we need to step back and go, wait a minute. It's not about being mean, and it's not about being nice to everybody. It's like, what are we actually trying to? What's the goal? What is it that we are trying to achieve with this type of political correctness on every aspect of our lives? That in itself is censorship.
Absolutely. I mean, and they're using that narrative to censor up a lot of people, saying that they're hurting their feelings. But then certain people could say whatever they want and it's not hurting their feelings. I know I said today on Twitter, and I really mean it, I think if Martin Luther King were here today, that he would not be very well liked among the social justice warriors, because he preached equality. He wanted to be treated equal. He wanted people to be treated by content of character, not the color of their skin, but who they were, their soul, their spirit. And that's a direct threat to the, extremist social justice, political correct warriors, because they say, no, we're not judging you by a content of character. You're this color. You're this color. We are not equal. We want this. We want that. So if Martin Luther King were here today, I think they would try to eat him alive. Just like, a lot of good people saying a lot of good things. They're falling, and in both sides of the political debate. And when you do this, it's like, I think of it like crabs in a bucket. I think we have to be kind and considerate to each other, because if we start dragging each other down, we're going to drag all of society to the bottom of the bucket until there's no prosperity for anyone. So I don't think this is going to end well if something's not done. But I do think people are rebelling, and even politically all over the world. I don't think it has so much to do with even certain policies. They'll tell you on the news, I think a lot of people, that's a big driving factor, is they're sick and tired of like being told that everything they say is offensive, and their existence, just them existing, that it's offensive. I think it's really leading a lot of people, away from those parties.
Yeah, and you know who, and today with all of this political correctness, and I'm not scared, and I know my audience, and I respect them all, but you know who has really been losing in all of this political correctness? Me. And what I mean by that is, you know what? I like to eat meat. I like to, I saw you today. It was so funny. You go, I'm drinking coconut milk, right? Yeah. in your coffee. Well, and when you said that, I stepped back. I like cream in my coffee. Man, I got half and half. I'm drinking coffee right now with half and half in it. And you know what? It tastes good. But by saying that, what do? It's like I'm offending. What do you mean I'm offending you? Because I like to eat a hamburger and have cream in my coffee, or I can go on and on. It's just like, wait a minute. I'm not saying anything about you or your diet, whatever it may be. It doesn't offend me. Go and do your thing. But there are certain things that I enjoy that suddenly I get comments or I get weird looks, and I just don't understand that. I really, really don't. It's like, wait a minute, I have rights too, right? I do.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think meditating or breathing or standing there is offensive now, because then there's the crowd that says, you got to do something. If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. I don't like that quote, because even when I'm outraged, I try to come from a peaceful vibe. So, I'm like, you want me to be mad? There's a really good list too. I forget who made it. I actually think it was Tucker Carlson, believe it or not, but he got a compilation of like 100 things that they said were racist. And it literally was like air, not being racist is racist, standing, sitting. And like, you think it's a joke, but there were actual articles to like fringe journalists who were like, everything is racist. And the worst part about that is I'm somebody who believes that there is still, racism, and there are people that are ignorant. So when you make everything offensive, you're actually helping the worst of the worst, because now you're blurring the lines of reality. Like if you're a bad person for sitting there drinking cream, then you're giving other bad people a pass. It's like we gotta hone in. I think we're so privileged that we've lost touch. They say that hard times create weak men, or hard times create good people, or good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. It's the cycle, and God help us. Hopefully we get stronger now, because I don't want hard times.
No, and when we come back, we're going to pick up this conversation where we left off. I'm going to share with you a funny story that I had with a vegan organic coffee truck. Wait till I tell you this story. This is Fade to Black. And no coconut milk here, but you do your own thing, An0maly.
I just bought it, so it's good.
This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight is An0maly. We're doing everything, pop culture, from one end to the other. It's going to be a great conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, An0maly. Great conversation. Tomorrow night, Leo Zagami is here. Wednesday night, Michael Lee Hill. Thursday night is Fader night. Open lines all night long. Let's get right back to An0maly. An0maly, during the break, Brian texted me and said he's listening. And well, anyway, what's up, Brian?
And yeah, shout out Brian, New American Media. That's how I got to NAM. Actually, he invited me and gave me a press pass. So and to Politicon last year. So he's been there hooking me up. So that's how I met you, because of Brian.
Yeah, and he just asked if I was going to be at Politicon this weekend. I will not. I don't have to work this weekend, and so
It's called sleep. I'm going to get caught up on sleep. So, okay, this is back to the PC conversation, and then we'll move on. But this is what's really funny. When it comes to people like myself, our rights have been shrinking, right? It's like a weird thing that I see going on. And if anybody has to be PC, on all fronts, it's me, right? I've got to watch it, and I find it really funny. And it's like if I'll give you an example. I was going to tell you the food truck story. So I get off stage. I'm in downtown Los Angeles. And I get off stage. Now, my voice is loud, right? I've got a distinctive voice. I understand that. And I'm speaking to a large crowd. And I step off this stage. We're at a park in downtown Los Angeles. And I step off of the stage and I turn to my right. And there is an organic coffee truck right behind the stage. Now, two things come into play. One, I love my coffee, organic coffee. I'm there. Number two, those people inside of that food truck have been listening to me on stage for 30 minutes, right? I know this. So I walk up to the truck and I order 2 iced coffees. And I said, could you put cream in one? And the guy looks at me and he goes, we don't have any cream. Only whatever he said, coconut milk, whatever. And I said, no. Don't put anything in it. It's okay. I'll take it black. And this other guy pops his head in and looks at me and he goes, this is a vegan festival, man. Just angry, right? Like just blood. I'm like, man, calm down, man. Just 2 black coffees. It's okay. All I said was, dude, cream. No cream, cool, I'll take it black. And the dude lost his mind. Now, he knows who I am. I'm not saying I deserve something. My point is, it's not like I was asking for anything special. I didn't do anything. I said, look, just black. And I thought he was going to jump through the window.
It sounds like me. The first time I went to Trader Joe's in Los Angeles, I was like, do you guys have Tupperware? And the dude looks at me and was like, dude, no, we don't have Tupperware. This is Trader Joe's. I was like, what is that? I'm thinking it's a grocery store, but they don't have Tupperware or aluminum foil. But I learned that he was super, super hipster mad about it. And I'm not even saying that in a negative way. I'm kind of hipstery, but I was like, whoa. So, yeah, I think people get disappointed with me and you because they consider us conscious. If they're like super vegan, universal vegan, they do not like it. I'm sorry, but I eat meat as well. I'm sorry to ruin half my fan base or whatever.
I know. See, and why should you feel that way? And I'll take it one step further. If I have a party over at the house, we obviously we're grilling and we're doing our thing, right? But we make sure that our vegan guests are taken care of, right? But then we have to, take it a step further. Well, maybe we got to deal with the gluten menu. Okay, so let's figure that. Oh, the peanuts. Okay, all right. Well, what about the lactose? Okay, and we make sure that's taken care of. But if I go to a vegan party, is the host of that vegan party going to come up to me and go, you know what? We hooked you up. We got double cheeseburgers for you over here. No, it's not. It's really really strange. It's exactly how you say it, and I really don't get. If you go up to, God, I feel like I'm doing a stand-up routine right now. But if you see 2 vegans that meet each other at a party, it's always the same conversation. Hey, how long have you been vegan? I've been vegan for 5 years. How about you? 6. That's amazing. What made you change? Right? And you hear this conversation. Now, if I went up to you at a party and caught you eating some kebab, and I went up to you and said, hey, how long have you been eating meat? I've been eating meat my whole life. Me too. Isn't this great? No, it's not like that. And suddenly I'm offending somebody with that. Well, you know what? Everybody, your time on this planet is short. We need to respect each other. We're all different, and whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat, go and do it. Let me do mine. And it's really that simple. And suddenly I've got to be this politically correct PC guy every step of the way, and I'm uncomfortable with it. I'm not cool with it at all.
Yeah, I'm going to keep eating meat. I tried to go vegan for a while, but then I was eating too much soy, and I learned that was not good. So I was like, you know what? Back to bacon, back to turkey. Sorry, I'm a bum. I'm a human bum. I'm sorry.
Now, you said one thing that I really appreciate, and it is your message. I want you to repeat it for everybody, which is you are in control of yourself. Anything you want to do, you can do. Expand on that for us. It's a wonderful position that you have.
I think one of the biggest things that holds anybody back in life is them comparing, hating, thinking about what they could have instead of honing in on what they do have. That changed my life. I was held back for a while because I was like, that person has more money. That person has family in the industry. But then when I started becoming grateful and appreciative of what I had and started making moves, that's when my whole life changed. And even now I wake up grateful, happy. I don't even have a manager, so I'm doing all this stuff myself, but I'm operating to take things to the next level and I'm having fun doing it. So I think the greatest thing in life is that you can do anything. Someone like Elon Musk, why does he, basically own space now and solar energy? It's because he thought he could do it and he pulled it off. You know why? Like, people will do. There's not that much ambition and good energy out there. There's a lot, but if you really have that passion, you stay consistent, persistent, not afraid to make mistakes and go years without reaching your goal. I really do believe anything's possible, especially in the 21st century. We hit the lottery. We don't have to get signed to a record label. We could make a song off our phone and it could go big on Instagram. You don't have to be on the television. You could have your own independent radio station and make money and have a fan base. Like, this is the greatest time to be alive. And I think a lot of people get caught up in politics and social political correctness, where they spend like 98% of their time being down and depressed and looking for something to complain about. Not enough people maxing out on gratefulness and really optimism, getting stuff done.
And how do you do it? Let's back up, and then we'll talk about that advice. When did you start to make those changes in your life, when you started to look towards the future and started to set your goals? What changed for you?
I'll say I was ambitious straight out of college. I just was like rapping and I was like doing all this stuff on YouTube, but I had a big up and I had a big down because I started spending way too much time, even though I was having success, spending too much time wishing I had more or thinking I should be somewhere else, and it ruined my stuff. One thing that really helped change my mindset was my friend Prince EA. He's actually a spiritual, online personality. He does poetry. He sent me two audiobooks. It was Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, and then also Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now. And there's a lot of people nowadays, you have like Tony Robbins and Gary Vee that are like more mainstream, like optimism, inspirational. But those books really kind of got me thinking. And I was like, wow, I am pretty lucky. I should live in the present moment. And I think that present moment lifestyle has stuck with me. And I've just kind of been getting wiser as it gone on. But that's definitely a cornerstone that I think switched my mindset around.
Did you have somebody that you admired, that you used as a role model as you started to move into this media career?
Not so much in media. I guess what inspired me to do this was how negative it was. And during the election, I saw not only how dishonest the news was, but every news is negative. And even if I agree with someone's political position, it's always so pessimistic and it's always so hateful. So I wanted to be the spiritual, optimistic, uplifting voice in politics because I felt like there wasn't one. And I think I kind of filled that role.
Now, what about you're also very, very funny, and some of you do some comedy stuff. Some of these skits that are definitely trying to make a political point or an emotional point, a society point. That it's pretty dangerous ground to get into that, but you've chosen to be very, very funny with it. Where does that come from?
I guess even before music and stuff, I was always a jokester in school. And a lot of people don't think that because they see how chill I am in my videos, but I was such a class clown, always getting detentions. If it was funny enough, I would do it and take the sacrifice, get suspended or something just to be funny. So I was always kind of joking around. So even in like with my friends, I'm pretty goofy. So that comes naturally. I just, for some reason, that wasn't my normal intro into music and like news analysis, but that comes really natural. And, maybe I'll get into that in a bigger form eventually, but with music and all this stuff, I'm juggling a lot.
In a couple of your videos, I'm not going to get specific as to which one, but you've got a way of having both sides, the point of view represented. And I could almost side with either one. Right? Where I can see where you definitely have your finger on what is driving this thought from both sides. And when I say both sides, it may be red, blue, it may be male, female, it could be white, black. That's what I'm saying when I'm talking about sides. But I am able to actually understand both sides here. And is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to poke fun at both sides and let everybody know that, both are being a little bit ridiculous?
Absolutely. Not just poke fun too, because people will accuse me of leaning one way, and it is definitely true because based on how I feel, I have my own thoughts.
Sure.
But my thought is like, I understand the far left. I get what they're talking about. I probably agree with 60-70% of it. I just don't like how they're doing it. The far right, I see where they're coming from. I don't agree with their strategy or their message, but I understand. I'm a very considerate and understanding person. And I know that my strategy is effective, where I've had, right-wing people come up to me and be like, I've never thought that way before. Now I'm thinking about it. I've had left-wing people come up to me. I've never thought that way before. I'm thinking. When you give people a little love and compassion and understanding, they're a lot more susceptible to hear out the other side. So whether it's black, white, left, right, green, blue, or I guess blue, red, not green, blue. I'm thinking Power Rangers. But overall,
same thing.
It's like, man,
same
you give
thing.
people a little.
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
The same thing, man. Same thing. It's just when you're talking about the Power Rangers, that is a good analogy, actually. You can't offend. You can't offend any of the Power Rangers, and if it's really funny. That is exactly the point that I'm bringing up here. You're going to find, no matter what it is that you want to, and not only yourself but anybody today in society, you are going to offend somebody, right? You're just going to do it. I got this crazy email the other day. It doesn't even matter what it was about, but you've got to stop doing this. You've got to stop. And I looked and I thought to myself, that is so narrow, right? Who is being offended here? It is such a narrow thing. And I literally said to Rita, I'm not even going to respond to this. It's like a delete mode. But it's just so funny that you will find somebody to offend, like the Green Power Ranger. We did it right here, and we're going to get email about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's where people are at. Even if you're chill, people want you to be mad. If you're mad, people want you to be chill. If you're not outraged, they want you to be outraged. So you can't really win on that scale. I guess you just got to be strong. There's a lot of sideline critics and a lot of people who would say that via email that wouldn't say it to your face. That's definitely the downside. Although I would say it's like 99.9% love that I get. Of course, it does bother me, like when you get some crazies and people being mean. It's not fun, but it's all good.
Well, so now let's go back to creating your own reality. What's the advice? Let's start right there for somebody that wants to start making changes in their life, but they don't know what to do. What do you say to them?
I would say, even if you have a full-time job, I think the misconception is, I got to quit this and start my new career. For years, maybe 6-7 years total, I was working a full-time job, maybe 2 or 3, and then I was doing it in my off hours. So I would say at lunch, in the 2-3 hours you have between when you come home and go to bed, work on your craft. If you really love whatever it is, work on that for years to the side and build. Don't just quit or throw it away or think it's too far. But I would say that, and with the create your own reality, I think people put mental constructs on themselves with fear, what they're taught to believe, what they think's available. But this is a beautiful time to be alive, especially with the cell phone. So if you could think it, if you could stay persistent, and if you can, I think a lot of people have ideas. I always say ideas are overrated. It's the execution of the idea that is very, very rare. Everyone's got the app, but nobody knows how to launch it. So it's like execution of the ideas and making mistakes and just pushing forward. That's the step everyone forgets. But don't get overwhelmed. Things don't happen overnight. But if you really love something, just do it, like Nike.
Ideas are overrated.
Everyone's got them. But nobody does anything about it.
Why? That is, I think today, again, going back to what's going on with the kids today, that it's all about instant satisfaction. Everybody wants 1 million, Twitter followers and 1 million followers on Instagram. And I think everybody has forgotten the sweat equity, that you've got to work no matter what. You've got to put in the time. You're absolutely right. The idea is overrated in that you have to act on it, and you can't be afraid of putting your foot on the gas and not stopping. And it may take years. When I tell people, they look at this program or they look at what you're doing and they just think, oh, okay, a couple of weeks and I'll be just like you. It's not about that. When I tell everybody about me working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week for 10 years to get to where we are today, it freaks them out. But that's how it happened. Nothing is free, is it?
No. I'll give you a good example too. I'm big on like clean air, clean water. I agree with environmentalists there. But as people are picketing and crying and complaining on, the climate's changing, you have a 16 or 17-year-old kid who invented something in the ocean that's cleaning up plastic in a bigger way than anyone's ever done. How come it's a 17-year-old kid doing it? What about all these adults that are marching in the street? When it comes to climate change and CO2 in the air, there's scientists who have created machines that, can potentially reverse that. So there's nothing virtuous about complaining. There's nothing virtuous about thinking something, but there is something very virtuous about executing a good idea. And that's the part that people miss. They're being outperformed by 17-year-olds.
Now, I got to get to this question here. This comes from Eddie, and this is in Twitter. He says, how does An0maly view the underlying messages put into modern-day popular music? Now, you're a musician, you're a rapper, you're a poet, and there is so much to be said right now about, there's a lot of it out there, that the message in media through popular music is intended. It's deliberate. How do you respond to that?
I think some of it is. I think some of it's human nature. I'll give you an example. A very popular thing in rap right now is to talk about taking pills and killing yourself. Like some of the most famous rappers are like, take pills, kill yourself, and all the kids are chanting it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. How is this popular? I don't know if it's like, did the chicken come before the egg? Was it because people were pilled out and they made that music because they were pilled out? They bought it from the drug dealer rappers of the 90s, or were they told to do that? Were they groomed to do that? I'm not sure what route it goes, but there definitely are a lot of people in the industry who have said that they kind of crafted it to be that way. So I'm not sure exactly, but there is a very toxic message in a lot of music, and there's a lot of basic messages in a lot of music, and there's not a lot of innovation. But there are a lot of good, there's always been great artists from the 70s, 80s, 90s to now. The great ones shine through and definitely preach wisdom and knowledge through music.
Do you buy into the Illuminati symbolism with Katy Perry and Jay-Z and Beyonce and that the elite are controlling these huge popular artists today with the symbolism?
I think that they're definitely friends. Like, I think a lot of artists are politically involved, they obviously are. They've performed at rallies and stuff. So I think they just believe that, and they think that that's right. and their friends think that way, and it's an echo chamber of sorts. But I'm not sure about the symbolism and that, because I've talked about that, I think, on Richie Allen's podcast. I'm not so sold on the symbolism of it, but I definitely do think people have, political leanings. I just don't know how deep it goes as far as, I think, it's an echo chamber. Tech company, the music industry, Hollywood culture, they've gotten too comfortable with themselves and not comfortable enough with the people on the ground.
Do you see the symbolism now that you've been told about it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely see the symbolism and stuff, but I also know, I'm not going to say exactly, but I know people and I know families that are, maybe, I won't say involved, but it's just like other people's families. Like at Christmas dinner, half your family feels this way, the other half feels that way. Like people are divided. And when people go strong one way, I think a lot of these celebrities have just went all in on a certain political party.
Well, but when the symbolism is there, is it because Justin Bieber or whoever I'm talking about, it doesn't really matter, are they doing it because they think it's fun, they think it's cool, or is there another agenda that is in play?
Well, when you go with Jay-Z, his first record label was Rockefeller, and then Rock Nation. Right, that's named after Rockefeller.
Yes,
he's got the pyramid, and he also sampled a Prodigy from Mobb Deep, who was the first one to say. He said, "Illuminati got my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society trying to keep their eye on me." And Jay-Z sampled that on his first record. So that is the question. I can't say I know for sure. Is he playing into that culture and trying to let people know he's big, larger than life? Or is he really, connected to those people? I don't know the answer, but it is interesting.
Okay. All right. Now, An0maly, this is where I push you in the corner a little bit. Let's suppose you find out that Jay-Z is controlled by the man, right? That he is a paid stooge and he's a card-carrying member of the Illuminati, right? He's banking with the Rothschilds. Does that change your opinion of his artistry?
That's a good question. Because, I mean, Jay-Z sold crack cocaine. So it's like, he always says, if I could sell crack, I could sell CDs. So if he could sell crack, I'm sure he could work with the Rothschilds too. But, I would say Jay-Z actually, even though politically I don't agree with him at all, he's one of my favorite artists, if not my favorite artist, because he still drops a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So I would say it wouldn't take away from his artistry. For me,
right.
It would definitely maybe take away from his character. But even for all that, like he drops so much knowledge and wisdom. And what I like about Jay-Z, he's not afraid to evolve. Like he doesn't act like he's still selling drugs like a lot of rappers do because they're afraid to be themselves. Jay-Z will rap about art paintings. He's like, I'm rich now. I buy art. I don't deal drugs. Like I respect that honesty.
I don't care who I offend. A few years ago, with all of this Jay-Z Illuminati stuff going on, right? And he's got his live concert. It was in New York or whatever. It was on HBO. So I watch it. And I've got to say, and I'm looking for it. I'm looking for the symbolism. And after maybe the second song or third song, I sat back and I thought to myself, this guy is good. This guy is a talent. This guy is world class. He's just amazing. And I forgot about the Illuminati symbolism that I was looking for. I forgot all about it.
They got you. You're brainwashed.
Right. I mean, the dude is great. He's not good. He's great. He is a seriously singular talent. He's world class. And that's what I came away from it. And I had to back up and I thought, man, I can't tell anybody that I'm enjoying this right now because I am. But now if I do that, everybody's going to freak out and I'm going to end up offending a bunch of people. But I got to say that concert blew me away. The dude is really that good. I totally agree with you. Let's take a break right here. I've got to do it. We'll be right back. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight is An0maly. We're doing it all. Pop culture, A to Z, and the conspiracy of this world. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal God on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. Dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So, are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, An0maly. That's right. Tomorrow night, right here, Leo Zagami live from Rome, Italy. And then Wednesday night, Michael Lee Hill. We're going to be breaking down that secret NSA group that was formed by A.R. Borden. We're going to disclose those members and actually have them on the show. And I'm going to be able to speak to them. And that'll be Wednesday night. Thursday night is Fader night, open lines all night long. Now, An0maly, I want to talk about your generation and the generation that's coming up right behind you. What I am so impressed about is you seem to be born upright. Knowledge. I don't know if it's some kind of DNA shift, but I think everybody is enlightened, that they understand things. How do you explain that?
Maybe it was the internet, maybe just where we fell as far as, in history, but I think we have our flaws and whatnot, but we're definitely on a new level of maybe having more freedom when it comes to media consumption. That might have had something to do with it. Maybe some good music artists that planted some seeds, but I like to think of it as, good people have always planted seeds, and I think a lot of them are coming to harvest, and hopefully we see that reflect in the world.
Well, we have these amazing things that are happening right now, and I'm talking about E.T., Contact, Parallel Worlds, the possibility of other things going on out there that are not part of what is indoctrinated into us, that there's nothing else out there. But they understand all of the possibilities that life has to offer. And how do you explain that part of it where they understand things today? It's almost like they have the ability to read minds. It's pretty amazing to see this generation. They get it.
I bet that's great for you too, as someone who probably blazed that trail, and it took a lot of people a while to catch on. First off, I want to say I want to have you on my platform, and maybe you could talk about some of that stuff to my audience. That sounds cool. Second, I think I've seen the shift. When I was younger, I was like a rebellious kid, and they told me like, no, this happened. You got to believe in this, and there's no aliens. There's no way, to like, oh, there's actually billions of planets, and maybe I saw the shift happen quickly. So I think maybe the internet and science, I don't know. We got to a point though where it went from aliens are crazy to like every single person being like, yeah, I mean, anything could really happen. There's, you talk to like an 18-year-old stoner. He's like, there's billions of universes. You're like, okay.
That's exactly my point. It's fascinating to me. How about you? Have you seen anything strange in the sky?
Absolutely. I caught they said it was a, what's his name? Elon Musk, SpaceX. They said it was a SpaceX launch, but I was up in the mountains and it was like this. I mean, it was so bright, and it was so bright that, I mean, it couldn't have been a plane, or even, I don't even know that it was a rocket. That's what they said. And it disappeared into like green, blue, mist of some sort. They have videos of it. They said it was a rocket launch. I caught that one live. I've had sleep paralysis, which was like, almost going to another dimension and being choked by like an evil witch.
What?
That was pretty eye-opening.
Whoa. Stop the bus right there. You had sleep paralysis. Trust me, I've been there. Okay, I get it. And you were being choked by a witch? What happened?
So I guess my body was weak. Maybe I was doing too many drugs at the time. I'm not doing like heroin or anything. I was doing like ecstasy, hanging out with some of the EDM kids too much, to be quite honest. And, I was sleeping on my back and I was having a dream, and there was what I thought was like a pretty girl behind me. And I went to turn, and it was like this witch who started choking me out. And then I opened my eyes and I'm still being choked, and I thought I was going to die. Like it was so real. I thought somebody was choking me in my room. After about 30 seconds to a minute, I woke up, I snapped out of it. I went right to my computer and I Googled like what happened. And then that weirded me out even more than it happening. Was like, oh, this is sleep paralysis. Millions of people experience this every year. It's usually a witch choking you. Like, that's not an unusual thing to see. And then I watched like a documentary on it, and I was like, whoa, that's weird that everyone sees the same exact thing, and it happens to some people like every night. It's a very weird thing, but I experienced it, and that changed my whole perception on like alternate dimensions for sure.
Has it happened again, or was it only that one time?
It was only that one time, and I was like mentally not down. I was like physically down. Now I'm too strong. I'm keeping the evil spirits away. They can't access my body portal at this moment, I don't think.
Now, I'm going to stay on this subject because your interest in AI and artificial intelligence and computers and Elon Musk and what is going on in Silicon Valley, that is something that is crossing over into our community today, because Silicon Valley is talking about quantum computing and parallel worlds and qubits and the possibility of us living in a computer simulation. And this is a real subject. This is not, it sounds like our community, having fun with the subject. Today, science and engineering and Silicon Valley is talking about this being part of our reality. And not only a part of our reality, but it is what they are working on for advanced computing technologies. Now, when this starts to become a part of the mainstream, this is what heads of huge corporations are talking about today. What does that say to you about the direction of what we are going in? Is there parallel worlds? Is the Mandela effect real? Is this world of ours a simulation?
I'll say, first of all, we're going to seem a lot less crazy for sure. And I think we already are. People like me, you, and Alex Jones, regardless of what people think of him, people are like, oh, that guy seems a lot less crazy than he did 10 years ago. But it's already happening to the extent of people are like, oh, I wonder if computers are going to be smarter than humans. They're already, there's artificial intelligence algorithms on the big social media companies already, and they're doing jobs that humans can't do. It's all going to happen. It's going to get really, really weird. I don't know to what extent it's going to get to, but I think even now, when I wake up in the morning, I have a decent sized apartment. It's not big, but bigger than a screen for sure. And I stare at my screen, and I'm on Twitter. I'm in the Twitter portal. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at my screen. I'm talking to people. I have no idea who they are or where they are. So we're kind of already easing our way into virtual reality with computers and cell phones and, all this stuff we're doing. So that's like the soft, I think, VR that we're in and we don't even realize, because how much time do we spend on there? Some people, including myself, more than I do in real reality. I feel like I'm in a simulation right now. When I go walk and take a hike, I'm like, thank goodness I just escaped out of the computer. I crawled out to get some exercise. So, I mean, it's definitely going to get weirder. I think we're already there. And is this a simulation? Are we going to branch off into millions of simulations and become, machine cyborgs? I have a hard time thinking not. And I don't even mean that in a pessimistic way. I'm ready to level up and become a cyborg.
Well, and yeah, exactly. And there's the other part of that, which is probably the most fascinating. I've met you. I know that you're real. But there are those out there that engage with you by the millions each week, and you could be the opposite to them. They don't even know. You could be fake. Right? Yeah. You could be a computer-generated piece of CG to some.
No, absolutely. That's all I am to some. And even I don't want to get into this because I know it's a very controversial topic, but there's a big QAnon conspiracy that's a message board post. And, that's an easy way for, I'm not saying it is a computer, but I'm just saying for the future, that is an easy way for a computer to gain access of millions of people. They're all following this person, like their deity. And it could be an AI algorithm, or artificial intelligent, because it never shows its face. It doesn't have a name, and people are okay with that. So it's like, they have video technology now where they can almost emulate your face and your voice. That's why my big warning call is like, guys, we got to figure out fake news now. Because if we can't figure out fake news now, when you have videos that you can't tell if it's Donald Trump or a simulation of Donald Trump, then we're going to be in trouble, because then we're not going to know up from down, left from right. And I think that reality is closer than people can really imagine or fathom.
Yeah, and when we look at the sock puppets or bots and AI that is able to engage in social media, that algorithm doesn't need sleep. That algorithm doesn't need food. You do. But every time you post and you get this immediate response back to your post, reacting to what you just posted and those words, you're assuming that that is a real person, right? And
yeah,
it
could be.
Yeah,
it could be someone wasting your time
and wearing you down.
And I think that's the way it's going to come. I think a lot of people are looking for iRobot, to get slapped in the face by a robot and not be able to retaliate. Like, shoot, I should have. But I think it's going to come that way. And even now I question, who's running the operation at Facebook and Google? Is it these tech, nerds gone out insane? Or are they actually being manipulated by artificial intelligence? And even us, what I talked about this morning is what the headline, what everyone's like, I'm being controlled, even though I think I'm not. It's like, even if you're at a high level, you're still being controlled and manipulated. So that's going to be the big takeover. It's going to be on the computers, I think, controlling human beings without them even knowing. It's not going to be like a robot slapping you in the face.
That's a very interesting point about QAnon and Q. Nobody knows. Nobody's met Q, right? We can't put a face to that. Could it be that Q is just a bot, that it is just AI messing with people's emotions?
I don't know for sure. And I know a lot of Q people, they'd get mad at that. And I always say, I appreciate the research and stuff they're doing, but I'm just throwing it out there. That's the first step where it's you got millions of people following something that you're not sure who it is. And even turning against people like Alex Jones. And I know some people already don't like him, but I'm like, man, this, it's not even I'm not hating on the movement, but we have to really question ourselves because, it's going to be a slow roll. And, if they can do it on a small scale, I'm not saying that one, but it could be, they could do it in so many other ways. So we got to really pay attention or else it's going to be maybe too late.
Yeah. How do we do that? How do we start to pay attention?
I guess just getting the word out there, having these conversations. I think Elon Musk helped a lot in his Joe Rogan interview. That was huge. And he basically threw the wording out there and kind of got the ball rolling a little bit. And, I don't know, because it's even if we know, Elon Musk has a Neuralink, which is a company to merge computer chips with human brains. Even if that's coming, what do we do about it? It's almost like you got to hope for the best, be the best person you could be, and pray that Elon Musk saves us, from these other crazy tech people. Are
you okay with that? I was with I can't say his name. I almost did. I was with somebody out there that's a pretty big name, and we were. I can't, I don't want to disclose who it is. Okay, but I was with him, and he goes, yeah, well, we were talking about the Fitbit, right? And he's, yeah, I've got that, but I've also got this. And he pulls up his sleeve, and he's got something mounted on his skin, and then he pulls back the collar on his shirt, and he goes, check this out. And I'm like, dude, you've got to be kidding me. And he said, you know what? When it comes to transhumanism or taking the next step, I'm all for it. I will do that. I'll change my eyes. I was like, whoa. Are you there? You just said sign me up, right? Would you take that next step?
I was semi-joking, semi-serious, because here's the big point is even if I'm not okay with it, I don't think my opinion or perspective matters because it's probably going to happen anyway. And when it comes to putting a computer chip in your brain, like the Matrix, Elon Musk is working on that.
Right.
The pro side is obviously you become smarter, and then maybe everybody becomes better. But then also you become hackable or controllable from the inside. So it's a big catch-22. My more cyborg, I think personally, we could possibly be the generation that could live forever. Based on keeping our bodies pure or, creating a new body that doesn't wear out over 60, 70, 80 years or new organs. And I'm not saying I want it, but I think that is a possibility. So when I joke about that, I would say I'm for it in that sense if it becomes a thing and that's all there is. But I'm not going to be the first couple hundred people to plug something into my brain. I'm going to definitely be hesitant to make sure that I'm not being hacked from my mind or from my body. Because to be honest, I don't even like to drive these new cars because they, it came out in the WikiLeaks that they can control your car. So I prefer old cars that don't have computers in them, to be honest.
Yeah, I've got a car right now that parks itself. right?
Yeah.
Literally, you press a button, you let go of the steering wheel, and it will park. Parallel park, straight park, perfectly in between like you've never seen before. I won't use it. Right?
The Teslas drive themselves. I've been on the highway for an hour. The car drove itself on the highway for an hour. I'm sitting in it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I've you know what? I don't want to get too much into this, but yeah, I actually have a situation. I have another car. Literally, you can take your hands off the wheel and it'll stay in the center lane.
It's insane.
No, I haven't done it yet. I won't. I have the technology on my vehicles. I have not taken advantage of it. Rita, have we parallel parked? I don't think we have. We did it when we bought the car, right? Right, when they were demoing it. But now, let's. When we talk about Neo, and we're talking about the Matrix, and the possibility of us being chipped, whether it's an RFID, some kind of thing, or an Apple Pay situation where you can just wave your hand over, that's one thing. But what if you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, that's not my thought. I would not have had that thought, right? But something is changing your thought, right? Making a decision for you. It could be a purchase, right? You would never buy Doritos, but you just bought a bag of Doritos and Cheetos, and you know that you would never do that. That's where it gets a little strange to me, where your thoughts are now not your own.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's the big catch, is they can definitely hack you. I'm talking about 30, 40 years when it's like a real possibility and it's been tested. I'm not going to get the Apple Pay in your skin. I mean, I'm not that desperate to not put my chip in or swipe my card. And, it's definitely a thing. And to see how these tech companies act now, when you don't think the way they want you to think, they get super mad. They try to censor you, silence you, shadow ban you. I see how their mindset is, and it's a very scary totalitarian mindset. So there's no way Google, Apple, Twitter, Facebook, I'm not taking any of their chips. I'm talking about like an Elon Musk chip that I trust in like 30 years, where I'm like, you saying if I put this suit on, Elon, I'm going to live forever? But then I got to ask myself, do I want to live forever? But these are future questions. I've only kind of briefed on it.
Have you had the sensation of you talking to a friend about something that you've never talked about before? I'll just pick something strange, a new tennis racket, right? But you've never Googled it, you've never done anything, but for some reason you and your friend are talking tennis. And then you go and jump on the net and you have an ad for tennis rackets.
Absolutely. I think it's safe to say that they're recording on everything, and maybe video, tapping into your credit card. I feel like I've had some things that I've even just thought about and haven't even said out loud. So
right,
I don't.
Right.
It's
right. What's going on with that? I've had it happen, and it's freaky. And to have Zuckerberg go up in front of Congress, go, no. One congressman literally said, that they've had staffers that have had conversations and the ads suddenly pop up on their phone, and they know that they've never searched for it. They know that the conversation was picked up and now the ads are showing up. What do you say about that? And Zuckerberg, no, we don't do that. And I'm just questioning, because I know with my own experience, it has happened. And you're saying it has happened to you too.
Yes, and everybody that I've talked to that's not even that technologically savvy. So I think that's definitely happening. I know they're not going to admit to it, but I've seen it like you too many times.
I'm not comfortable with it, and it's something where we know that we're carrying cell phones, Apple Watches. Your car is now active. You have your smart TVs. And Alexa and Echoes and these things that are all over the place, constantly listening for keywords, right? It's their job to do that. And you don't have to be on your phone. Siri is always listening, right? And when you see this happen, it's not that we don't doubt the technology. It's that they are telling us that they are not doing it. And that's the problem.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, they logged me out of Facebook and I logged back in. They said, An0maly, if you want to post on these pages, you need to let us track you 24/7 and have a permanent Facebook. Because obviously Google tracks me. I mean, certain apps track you because it's location based, but I didn't have Facebook location on because I don't want Facebook to track me. But now if I want to post to my big audience, they've 24/7 tracked me. Coming from when the internet started, my mom said, don't put your real name on the email so people don't have your real name. Now I'm like, hey, Ma, they're tracking me 24/7 as I'm posting. Crazy.
What if you switch to like an old style flip phone that doesn't have GPS? Then what is?
I'm sure you could, but at this point, it's like me, you, everyone. Unfortunately, I like to be a private person and I enjoy my space, and I have it for the most part. But if they want to find anyone, they could probably find anyone within 5 minutes. That's just a sad reality.
That's unbelievable. I have not heard of that message coming up from Facebook. That you have to turn tracking on to continue posting.
Well, I think they were trying to convince themselves that I was Russian or a foreign agent or something, because that's the big, reason. They're like, oh, you're Russian. So they tracked me, and I guess they tracked everyone else, and then they deleted like 800 pages. Thank God they didn't delete me, but they're using that foreign agent narrative to really track people.
Oh, I got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's just been posted up here in Twitter. I'm going to check that out after the break. I want to thank you for an amazing conversation, and I will accept your invitation to go onto your platform. I can't wait to hang out with you and your audience. Where can everybody here on Fade to Black go and check you out? What's the easiest way to do it?
Yeah, first off, I want to say thank you for having me. That was great. I had a blast. And the easiest place would be my website. It's legendary.vision. Legendary spelled just like legendary. Vision spelled just like vision. Legendary.vision. And that's got all my links to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and my podcast. So that's the easiest. Legendary.vision.
And you create your content every single day, right? This is fresh content, and that's what you do.
Yeah, self-managed, self-produced, self-shot, self-edited. I do it every day. Today I did 3 videos. I did a live stream, and then I did a whole other clip. So I've been blessed with legendary energy. That's my Twitter too. So, I'm just trying to spread the good word, spread the good energy. I'm just nonstop. I might make 5 more videos in the next hour. I don't know. I might take a nap though. We'll see. Well,
your video today, An0maly Warren. I watched it, man. I watched it live. That was I'm not going to say anymore. Fade or not, just go and check it out. An0maly Warren, and go and post a comment about the hat. That was classic stuff, man. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me again, and thank you to your audience. I mean, we'll chat soon. I'm gonna have you on, and I'm gonna make you talk about some wild stuff. Not in a crazy way, but whatever you want to share.
No, let's do it. And are you going to be at Politicon this weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I got a press pass too, so I should be creeping around. There's a lot of people there, man. That's a big.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Well, if Brian hooks me up with a press pass, maybe I'll go hook up with you and hang out for a few hours. I know Brian is listening. Brian, you can text me right now. Say I got your press pass, and then we'll see what happens. Thank you.
It was a great time, and there'll probably be a lot of people that recognize you. It's a good quote unquote networking. So come on through.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I will. Thank you, An0maly, and enjoy the rest of your night. Go make some videos, and I'll check you out first thing in the morning.
God bless. Thank you.
Right on. An0maly. Amazing conversation. And I'm going to get to a commercial break right away. I'll be back and open up the phone lines, and let's do that. And I'll be right back. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. An0maly. It's legendary.vision. The links are up over at jimmychurchradio.com. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
To my boy, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com. Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing An0maly, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All An0maly products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the An0maly pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the An0maly banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi folks, CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of An0maly Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the An0maly banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
This is Kristen, Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Want to thank An0maly. Brought it, man. Oh, what a great conversation. Phone lines are open. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929. And too many points to cover, right? First off, that whole PC conversation. What'd you think about that? We live in a world today that is way, way, way too PC. I don't know for me when it all started. I will say this as I'm opening up the phone lines here. And if you're on hold, stay right there. I don't know when it all started, but I remember about 20, our daughters are 23. So I'm going to say it was about 20 years ago. And I was at some kids gymboree kind of establishment, and I'm there with my daughter. And I was watching a mom discipline her son. And it wasn't discipline. It was like, okay, you've got a timeout. And I was like, timeout? You know? And I was a new dad, right? I had no idea. And you have to sit here for 2 minutes. And I was like, wait a minute here. Shouldn't you take this a step further? And that to me was like the start of it. And I was just observing. I was in observation mode with all of this. It was just fascinating. And this PC world, it just took off from there. Let's go to the phones. Area code 419. You're up. Who's calling?
Jimmy, this is Brian.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Living the dream. I was, listening to you guys talking. Obviously, I just put my pass in for you to see you over at Politicon in a couple of days, and we'll see how that goes. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. But listening to you talk with An0maly, it was interesting talking about the artificial intelligence angle of things. When you think about the few social media companies who have found a way, along with Amazon, to just destroy brick-and-mortar businesses, to destroy newspapers, to destroy cable television, the Internet has changed the landscape of everything. And I had the conversation about how long are we going to have access to the Internet as we currently know it. And I listened to you guys talking about the history of the Internet when it used to be fun versus where it is now. You're begging for permission to play on the Internet. And it's not too far off where you can envision a world where the Internet is going to be pay to play. You're going to have your social media score like they're having in China right now.
Right.
And the future version of the Internet is not an interesting place to me. It's a very dangerous, scary place. And that was just a place of conversation you guys just had. That was a really fun conversation. I'm glad you guys got to follow up and have that full-form conversation. Good stuff. But that's the part that really got me thinking was what kind of Internet are we going to have moving forward? So I was kind of curious as to your thoughts on that.
Well, actually, let's engage in this conversation because your points are some of the most valid that we can actually have today. First off, when Jeff Bezos launched Amazon, and it was books. Remember, it was just books. It was just books, and we thought that it was crazy. It was a crazy thought, and it was losing money. And now that was one part of it. His vision of what Amazon was going to be and what his plans were not what we thought. It was an online bookstore. Jeff Bezos today. Amazon is, we have 2 or 3, maybe 4 major players that are in absolute control of every aspect of our lives. And I'm talking about Google, I'm talking about YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Amazon. It absolutely controls the world. And we had no idea that Amazon would end up being logistics, a delivery system, number one. Number two, a warehousing part of logistics. The third part is the money situation where Amazon now is controlling how we spend money. And the fourth wing of Amazon, which we didn't anticipate, is their control of servers and internet traffic and data storage. It is an absolute world-dominating platform. Amazon, the word, right? Now, it's like an episode of Black Mirror where we just, right, where we didn't see this playing out. You would have thought that there were those out there that would have seen it. Look at Sears. Sears
Oh, yeah. Sears was the big one today,
Sears.
and I think you're nailing it. When you said the first thing that Amazon does, it's their distribution network. It's the warehouses. It's the tracking. It's the real-time understanding of when Jimmy presses click in Des Moines, Iowa, and he would like to have this shower curtain delivered. It's the automatic transfer system from the warehouse of the manufacturer that creates the stuff over to their thing closest that can deliver it to Des Moines, Iowa as quickly and cheaply as possible. Remember, all that stuff used to be free delivery. They got you hooked. They were the drug dealer. We'll get you hooked on the free stuff up front, and then we're going to start digging our claws in a little bit, because now we got you. Now we shut down all the mom and pop shops around town because they can't compete with the taxes. Eventually some of the states caught up on that, and they ran them out of business, and soon they're going to have the monopoly on content distribution, which theoretically gives us a better product at a lower price. But who would have thought Amazon's bookstore delivery was really about the transportation mechanism that's running circles around USPS? I mean, that's one of the biggest things that they do. But yeah, you talk about 3 other things that Amazon has morphed into, and you just wonder about Facebook and YouTube and these other tech giants, Twitter. You wonder how much of this is, hey, look in our right hand, jiggling the shiny keys, distracting you, while the left hand's reaching around the other side doing what it's really doing while we're distracted. I think you're onto something with that, too.
Yeah, and it's the ability now where our mindset has changed, and Amazon has done it. And I'll give you an example. Okay, everybody knows I love to play guitar, right? And I've got all of these wonderful guitars hanging on 4 walls of the bunker, right? It looks beautiful. And so I'm sitting here over the weekend, I think it was on Friday, and I'm looking around. I went, wow, I need 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 guitars here out of all of these guitars that don't have guitar straps on them, right? Now, down over at my house in the garage, I know that there are boxes in there with guitar straps in them. But instead of going home and opening up a box or looking through some boxes and getting 3 guitar straps and bringing them back to the bunker and putting them on the guitar straps, I'm sitting in the bunker. Instead of doing that, what do?
Let me guess. Can I guess?
Right. And it's
I think you clicked on Amazon because it was going to be a lot quicker, and by the time a day and a half passes, you wouldn't have made it over there anyway to get them. You were that lazy, and you just clicked send. I'll take 2 more. I can find a use for 2 more guitar straps. Am I close?
That is exactly what happened. And you know what? and the even sadder part is there's a Guitar Center down the street. I could do the thing where I go hang out with my human being friends, right? I actually get in the car, drive to Guitar Center, park, walk in, look at some guitars, hang out with other musicians, and maybe talk a little Van Halen, buy my 3 guitar straps, go out and drive back to the bunker and do that's the right thing. But Amazon has changed our mindset. So what do? I order 3 straps. I get them cheap. They're delivered the next day. I've already forgotten about the straps, right?
That's how it works, though.
Yes, I've already.
You can convince yourself. As long as you can convince yourself that I just need to go find it and click order, I'm going to appreciate my future self a day and a half from now. 12 hours from now, I will appreciate this moment if I just do it. I want the impulsive purchase. I can do this. That's never been available before this way. You're so right.
1 click. And they've got that whole, that's the other beautiful thing that Amazon's got now. It's not even 2 clicks. They got it down to 1 click. You can't even back out of it, right? It's just like 1 click. No, you're not digging a credit card out of your pocket. You're not looking at numbers. Right. You're not doing any of that. Nothing to disturb the purchase. They don't want you to do it, right? They don't want to interrupt the flow. So you go, you click, you find, boom, done. 3 click, 1 click, and then you're done. You've moved on. The next day, the doorbell rings. It's like, oh, wow. Oh, that's right. Oh, I ordered those guitar straps yesterday. I forgot about that. As a matter of fact, yeah, it's amazing.
They can almost predict what you're doing now with your purchase histories, and that's another aspect of what you and An0maly were getting into was about when you have the conversation about what you say, a tennis racket, some sort of tennis racket or something. You know what? And then you pull out Facebook, you're scrolling through, and you're like, son of a bitch, I got a tennis racket here now. Like seriously, guys, stop snooping on everything I'm thinking and typing and talking about. This is beyond creepy. I get that you want to advertise to your target demographic. I understand that you want to find out if somebody's a Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Ohio State Buckeye fan. Yes, that's me. I always have been. I understand you want to advertise to your target demographic, but creeping in on people's conversations, Jimmy, I'm so glad you guys talked about that because that is exactly what they're doing. And Facebook famously said that the users of Facebook are the product. And we have to keep that in mind. And I don't know when the next version of this social media thing is going to happen, but you know, there's predictive programming, there's anticipatory ordering and suggestive selling techniques. But I really feel like we've jumped the shark on what technology can be doing versus the reality of what Zuckerberg and Google, YouTube, all these people are actually telling us what they're really doing behind the scenes and working with the governments. And, you know, we just saw in Saudi Arabia, one of the diplomats just disappeared. We heard about Michael Hastings and the questions if anything had happened with his vehicle. He had been really paranoid about his vehicle being tampered with and being remote controlled right before we found out about that. That's another conversation topic that you and An0maly touched upon tonight.
Right.
So, look, I mean, we could take this any number of angles, obviously, but, you know, it was a really good talk you guys had because this really impacts every single aspect of our lives, and we could talk about this for 24 hours straight without even scratching the surface of it.
No, it's really true. And when I'm glad that An0maly, and you really paid attention to the conversation tonight, I'm really glad he brought up AI so many times. Most people, because AI is so effective today, that they don't notice the intrusion into their lives. And when somebody says to me, well, you know, nah, they're not doing it. Dude, Netflix, right? Netflix is one of the most amazing AI algorithms out there on this planet. So much so that I don't even have to think about what I want to see. It already knows.
Yeah, you pop on Netflix and it goes,
it's
hey,
right there.
Do you want to see the new Joe Rogan comedy special with Vegan Cat? Why, yes, I would. # Vegan Cat. How did you know me so well, Netflix? Thank you so much.
It's amazing.
It is creepy how predictable we are, though. It's a little weird.
It's amazing, that algorithm. And just today, okay, so last year, this is something else that really freaked me out. Last year, I bought on Amazon Prime, I got a really fancy espresso machine, right? And I've that purchase is done and over with. And so I'm on Amazon Prime, checking the status of some deliveries, right? And popping up in suggestions for you is a really nice stainless steel machined espresso tamper. Now, do you know what an espresso tamper is, Brian?
I think it's that thing that takes the coffee grounds and compacts them a little more tightly prior to brewing.
Yes. Now, to a coffee aficionado, a good tamper is a necessity, right? Okay. They know that I've never bought one, right? I've never ordered one. But I certainly ordered the espresso. So now the tamper popped up in my suggestions. I would have never thought, but I've always, right? And I'm just looking at, and I'm thinking about this AI algorithm. You would have thought that espresso machine was long and forgotten. Not with Amazon. Right?
Well, hey, let me ask you this, Jimmy. Did they forget 35 years ago with Brett Kavanaugh, something that was never A crime was never charged. There was no prosecution. There was never a jury trial with 12 of his peers. Evidence was never presented. He never had the opportunity to defend himself. But 35 years later, this guy is going to have his life ruined by something that was on somebody's record, made in some sort of casual, accusatory way. We're talking 3.5 years later, Jimmy.
Yes,
there's a Simpsons joke about Homer Simpson where when he was a kid, he picked up his dog by the hind legs and moved him around the living room like a vacuum cleaner. And the joke was that we have everything on your permanent record, Mr. Simpson. Everything is on your permanent record forever. So, yeah, whether it's a tamper for a Nescafe or whether it's a 35-year-old frat party that you went to, there has become a culture in America and in the world where mere accusations have become weaponized. So everything you've typed, when I read that story that they're saving what you type and then delete before you hit send, that all of those are being cataloged in a special category to try to really get into your thoughts of what you almost said. This is stuff you thought, not stuff you actually typed and hit send on. There really is an intense effort at play with all of these social media companies to get into your thought process, to get into the synapses of your brain that are causing you to come up with certain ideas and responses to what we find. And I don't blame them. If I were running these companies, I'd be curious of this stuff too. But at what point do you cross the line in between creepy and predictive? I don't know that they understood. They crossed it a long, long time ago. And as cool as Facebook is now and as much market share as they have now, remember, MySpace used to be pretty big too. Napster used to be pretty big too.
So did AOL.
Of course. And I don't know if these current media giants understand that or if they're trying to plow through it like they don't care or that they're going to be stronger than it. Because at the end of the day, Jimmy, this comes down to what we, the consumer, we, the people, what do we want to participate in? While we still have a version of the internet like we used to know it, this is all voluntarily exchanged between us to jump on their platform. We don't have to continue this. But we've seen all the shadow banning and the demonetizing and the censorship and the deplatforming. The joke is at first they came for Alex Jones, but I said nothing because he's a whack job, play that one out. And then they came for me, but there was nobody left to speak up for me. They went after the right-wing nut job. They went after the left-wing nut jobs. They're going after centrists. They're going after everybody. At some point, who actually runs and controls the internet that we're all using? Is that up to us, or is that up to a couple people in Menlo Park or, up there in Silicon Valley? I don't know. I feel like it's user-generated. If we walked away from, be it a political party or be it from social media tech giants, what stranglehold could they possibly have if we're not using their platform? So, there's so many angles to take this down. It's one of the most fascinating topics, and I'm really glad you guys brought up Rogan and Elon Musk, because Elon, man, when I watched that podcast, he was so defeated. He was sad. He was resigned to the fact that he warned and begged and pleaded everybody, and they ignored him. So here we are. He's accepted it. It was really cataclysmic.
Yeah,
but it was
I know.
poignant. It was profound, too.
Well, and there's another twisted aspect to this. We are picturing, as a society, when we picture Facebook or YouTube, the campuses are big and they're large and there's lots of employees, and Amazon, and certainly there is that part of it. But the other aspect, who is running Facebook, it's not people anymore. It's computers and algorithms that are making these decisions. People can't look at every word of every post, of everything, of every search. No. What looks at that are computers, and they're making the decisions now. They're the only things that can look at. Can you imagine in the next 30 seconds how many clicks and posts have gone down on the internet? Right? It's a crazy, ginormous number. People are not in control of that. Computers are, and computers are making those decisions now. And that machine learning and that AI is getting smarter with every click. You are teaching it something every time you type something, every time you make a decision, and it's compiling that database on you. A human cannot make those decisions, and not make those decisions by hundreds of millions in a few minutes. It's computers that are doing that. And that is, people need to step back and understand what is really going on. It's not people, they picture some crazy room full of 20,000 people in it who's staring at computers, looking at your post. That's not what's going on. It's going on at the NSA facility in Utah. It's going on in Menlo Park at the Google AI farm. And that's what's really going on. And that is what is frightening. It's not people making the decisions anymore. It is computers. And that is a fact. This is not science fiction, Brian. That is a fact, and that is the reality we are in. So how do we back off? You're absolutely right. You made a really good point. MySpace existed once, and maybe someday we will say, do you guys remember Facebook? Oh, I still have an account. Oh, really? You have a Facebook account where we can make fun, right? You have an AOL account? Dude, you're on Yahoo? Well, maybe it's a crazy thought, but maybe we will look at Facebook the same way. If they don't change their ways, people will make their own decisions. They don't have to be on Facebook.
Yeah, it's a fascinating topic because we're jumping headfirst into this swimming pool, and then some people want to complain that they're wet. It's like, look, we're all participating in this. We all want the latest and greatest. We all want instant access to all of the things. I mean, remember the days, Jimmy, where you could be at a bar and you would have a debate with your buddy, and you try to remember the name of the character on All in the Family or something, and you couldn't think of you couldn't think of Meathead, and two people would come up with wrong answers, and they'd be convinced, they'd bet you $5, and you had to actually think about it for a while. Like, we have all of the computational power for popular culture references and advanced algorithms right in the palm of our hand for about $800 and about $90 a month in our pockets, in our hands. It's a world that people 100 years ago couldn't have even dreamed of. Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, Benjamin Franklin, these people, if they could have envisioned what we have right now, I don't know how much quickly our society would have progressed. And so we have all of the capabilities in the world, but we're choosing to participate in things that maybe don't serve humanity. They don't serve us personally. It's creepy. It's like the person outside the window looking through the bushes. It's something we're participating in, though. So I think either we're going to jump into the synchronicity, we're going to have the Ray Kurzweil moment where man and machine merges, or we're going to find a little bit of room for some sort of common sense and decency and respect and privacy. I don't know that we're going to have that at a percentage where I'm going to put money on it. I'm not. If I were a gambling man, I'm not going to say that that's how this is going to play out. But what's the other option, Jimmy? Terminator 2?
Yeah, I know.
I don't want that either. I'm watching Boston Dynamics every week, and it's freaking me the hell out, as it should. This is going to go a really dark place for political dissent and journalists disappearing, and it's a dangerous time, or it's an amazing time. So it's kind of up to us as the consumer what we want to feed with our money versus what we want to starve from our resources and our money. I think it comes down to the consumer.
Yeah, Brian, fascinating conversation and call. It's great to hear your voice again. I've got to run credits in 30 seconds. So for our audience, tell them where they can go and check you out right now.
The New American Media. Go to our Facebook page. We're doing a bunch of interesting stuff on all the platforms, but it's The New American Media because the old American media has failed us. Go to the Facebook page. Let's start there. Then I'll bring you in. It's youtube.com/The New American Media. That's the place you can subscribe on the YouTube channel. Those two places, YouTube, Facebook.
There you go, Brian. And maybe I'll see you this weekend. See what you can do.
By the way, I already put in your press request. As soon as you said it, I laughed out loud and I shot the email off. I said, hey, man, one more request. Sorry, but my dude Jimmy just said he would like to come to this. So I'll keep you posted. We'll talk in between. Hey, man, really good conversation with An0maly tonight. It was a fun conversation. You guys got into so many interesting things. Really good stuff. And, yeah, if all goes well, I'll see you in a couple of days at Politicon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brian. And I really appreciate the phone call.
All right. Take care, buddy. Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. That's Brian Engelman, the new American Media. And with that wraps another Monday right here on Fade to Black. I do want to thank An0maly. What a great conversation. And all of An0maly's links and how to chase that down are over at jimmychurchradio.com. With that, Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. It's broadcast owned and copyrighted 2018 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, right here, Leo Zagami, live from Rome, Italy. Until then, everybody be safe. Go Backley Tappy.